Hey everybody, how we doing today? Nice to see you. Welcome back to the Food Fight Club. My name is Charles. I'll be your host. And today we're going to talk about 5 signs that intuitive eating might be able to help you in your life. So I just compiled a little list, that stuff that I saw in myself along my journey. And, it's common knowledge out there if you look up, you know, these different points. But I thought it would be nice. This isn't going to be too long of a video, so hang out till the end. I'd appreciate it if you can give me a like, subscribe, or share this with somebody and leave me a comment in the comments about maybe how you feel about these things or something that you have, a question you want answered, and I'll do my best to get to you. Um, I want to try and really build a tight community here and help as many people as I can. All right. Um, so it's important to know that these are not numbered in any number of importance. I'm gonna have a bonus one too at the end, so stick around. That might be pertinent to you also. So no, number one is just gonna be you might have a negative body image. Okay, you might not like the way you look, and you know I know where you're coming from, uh, but I've learned more and more to appreciate my body. As I've said before, your body is a miraculous gift to you from the Creator, and it does many, many amazing things to help you. Um, but you can't, you have to get control of like your mind and not let it get away with you and not let it rule your life. You have to kind of go deeper and work on your own self-image, your body image, your confidence, and that will definitely, help you over time. So uh, I think, when it comes along to this, when you start taking steps to help yourself and realize that you can ultimately be, you know, where you want to be mentally, spiritually, um, that you can get a handle on it and, you can really work towards being happy with how you look. You know, body image is something that is forced upon us, like by all the media and, all the commerciality out there about how people should look. You got to really kind of take it from where it comes, and everything you see on social media and magazines, if people look at them anymore, on commercials, in TV shows, movies, those are all, not really for real, you know, and you got to stop judging yourself or comparing yourself to, other people, other, people you see on these uh, platforms I just mentioned. So you have to really make peace with how you look, and it's uh, it's a tough journey. It's a lot to swallow, but working on your body image and how you feel about how you look is going to go a long way with your mental health. Okay. All right. So number two I have here is food obsession. Okay. We all know what this is. The food noise in your head, uh, obsessing over when you ate, what you ate last, how many macros and how many fat grams and all that food related stuff. And, obsessing over what you're going to eat for lunch, what you're going to eat for dinner. Will I be hungry? Will I have to have a snack? What will it be? Um, you know, Many of us eat dinner and we relax at night and we want to have a little snack, whatever you like, nuts, chips, whatever, ice cream. And, you obsess the day after, oh, I shouldn't have ate that. And, oh, I'm never going to lose weight. And, oh, how am I going to, whatever. So you have to realize that obsessing over food is part of a disorder, So the only way that I've found to get out of that is with intuitive eating. Okay. So that might be one of the reasons you want to look into intuitive eating. Number three is you've been on restrictive diets 3 to 5 times so far in your life. So for me personally, I was on 3 to 5 diets probably before I got out of elementary school or, junior high age. And as I said before in my other videos, by the time I got into high school, I was already like programmed to put myself on diets. So I would do that repeated times in high school. And, you know, if you've been on 3 to 5 diets in your life, the fact is that every time you've gone off your diet, you've probably gained your weight back, the weight you lost, and then some. It's been scientifically proven that diets don't work, they actually cause weight gain. Okay. And doing what you're doing to your metabolism every time you restrict your food intake, your metabolism shuts down, it lowers its weight set point, and then it stops losing weight. And that's most of the time why people get discouraged on diets. Restrictive diets don't work. Okay. The science points to it, but the fact of the matter is, diet culture and the food industry won't let you forget. They won't. Everywhere you look, you're going to see a new fad, a new diet, articles online about eat this, don't eat that, all this stuff. So just trying to remember every time you go on a restrictive diet, it's really like a road to nowhere. Okay, guys? I'm here to encourage you to get control back of your mind, your body, and not try and so much control the size of your body. Okay? Number four is you've had depression about or dissatisfaction in how you feel about yourself. And again, this reflects back on the body image and the times that you've lost weight, then gained it back. It all wears on you. Okay. So you either get depressed or dissatisfied with, you know, who you are, what you look like. Because every time you fail at something, you're going to have a worse self image of yourself. For years and decades, I walked around thinking I was a quitter and I was a loser. And, how come everyone else can look a certain way and I can't? And I thought it was something wrong with me. And, you know, besides the fact that I had a narcissistic family system that I grew up in, it was just a total beatdown on myself, like every day. So if you have, depression or dissatisfaction about how you feel about yourself, look in the mirror and know that what you're seeing is the solution to your problem. Okay. Um, you can't have a better life keep when you keep, beating on yourself. You have to learn, do your research, read some books, you know, get actively involved in how you feel and how you're going to make yourself feel better. Okay. Number five is overwhelming guilt around food and food noise. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about the food noise and the food fight in your head. Um, a lot of people experience guilt around food because we are so programmed. At one point, I was so programmed to, count everything I ate. How many calories is this? Oh, let me think in my head. Let me calculate. Oh, this was an 800 calorie meal. That means I can only have, 1,000 other calories or 800 more calories for the day, and it's just a, a battle you can't win. You know, um, the guilt that you feel, even when you're eating something, it's gonna affect how your body reacts to what you eat. I don't care what anyone says. If you're not feeling good when you're eating, your body is not going to, process the food the same way as if you would, sit back, relax, breathe, enjoy all the bites of your food, just get, out of that headspace of being guilty and, really just putting yourself in the moment when you eat and paying attention to your bodily cues when you're, full, when you're about to be full, however you want to word it, but you know, you have to be satisfied with, you know, your meal in order, and what you're how you're enjoying it. Sorry, I'm stuttering so much. It's like so much in my head. But when you sit down and you feel guilty, or you get up off the table and you feel guilty, you just ate that, no bueno. It's no good. Okay. So let's try and consider all these different, signs that I'm putting up here. And the bonus one here is kind of pertains to my situation, but I'm sure there are people out there in the same situation, even though you may not realize it yet. Okay. One or both of your parents or a family member put you on restrictive diets as a child, or you put yourself on diets due to peer pressure or trying to control your body size. So there's a whole gamut there. I was put on diets as a young child. Other people, like, in high school, they start to try and control their body size because they want to fit into certain clothes, they want to look a certain way. For the females out there, you want to wear this and that and you want to look good, again, due to all the outside programming. And the men who are in high school, like, they want to look better to attract a female, or to, be in a certain type of shape to get on a team, or, to be accepted by their friends. And, it's kind of mentally unhealthy. It's not a good place to be in because, again, it leads to the whole mental thing of being dissatisfied with yourself, feeling guilty, having a negative body image, negative self image. It's just, like I said, it's a road to nowhere. You have to kind of, wipe the slate clean. You know, get off the road to nowhere, and really kind of learn about intuitive eating. Um, realize that being on restrictive diets is really a bad thing for your body. Um, there's a there was an experiment in 1944 into 45 called the Minnesota starvation experiment, and that's going to be another video. So maybe I'll do one on that next time, and we'll go over that, where they took a bunch of healthy young men. They were conscientious objectors to World War II, and the the Allies realized that they were going to have like a massive problem feeding people after the war was over. So they did an experiment on these young men, and the results were not good. But it just goes to show, you'll see in the video, uh, it goes to show what kind of stress, or food stress, being on a restrictive diet, how it could change a perfectly normal, mentally healthy, physically healthy person into someone that, they don't recognize themselves anymore. So it really is detrimental. There's tons of research out there. I just want to try and steer you guys into the right direction, and, hopefully prevent you guys from going through the stress that I did in my life. I mean, some of the things that I've felt, about myself, excuse me, about food, it's just horrible. It really is. And it's so, so unnecessary. So we're heading out 15 minutes. So Thanks again, guys, for watching. Please hit the like, share, subscribe. Give me a comment and down below, and I'll try and answer your question in a video. And until then, I wish you well. You take care of yourselves, guys. Ciao. Bye now.